The first day of 2023 was a great day for flying free flight from the frozen lake near where I live. I had a chance to fly the repaired P-30 that had been stuck in a tree flying on Thanksgiving. One thing I did in the rebuild was I pre-shrunk the tissue on the wing, and it seemed like it was well worth it. The tissue remained tight, where another plane I had with tissue, the tissue was starting to sag. I set up the stooge along the shoreline because I didn't know if I could pound the stakes into the ice. The ice is a foot thick now, so it should be safe. So I tried to really reduce turns, probably only about 400 to start with, and the plane just barely flew above the ground, but the trim looked like it was fairly good. I replaced the rubber, and it turned out the other motor was actually overweight. I'm going to have to put in a whole lot more turns, I think, to get it to climb now. But I was a little bit worried it might come down by DT with pop-off wing and hit the ice, and that's pretty darn hard. So I had the BMK GPS installed again, and I was recording the data from the flight. The wing had popped off after it landed. The GPS was getting a good signal both on the beacon and the receiver, and it does appear to be 2 meters away. Here you see the shoreline, and there are trees out there, so I was glad it was drifting pretty much right down the lake. I tried it one last time, and I got up to like 700 turns, but I think it could probably crank in well over 1,000 with 4 strands of rubber. I'm going to have to look that up. It's amazing when it's, like 40 degrees and low wind, lots of sunshine. It really doesn't feel cold out there at all. I had my coat open and I didn't have any gloves, and I was doing just fine. Here's a couple of screenshots from the BMK locator app that you use on your smartphone, and you can see different views of the map. So I also flew my sniffer with the electric motor. You can see this tissue, which I didn't pre-shrink. It was kind of saggy in places. I had closed up the front end of the sniffer after putting the new motor in, and it seemed like it pulled it pretty well. It got up to fairly good altitude, and I was able to get the brakes set on the ESC, so the prop wasn't windmilling. It's pretty hard to see the glide. When I got home, I downloaded the data off of the GPS, and I created this graph of the flight. You can see there's negative numbers. The barometric pressure was such that that level was a negative number, but it trended up and down like it should. I also downloaded the KML files and imported into Google Earth. I don't know, it just showed this red area of the flight, and if you tried to zoom in closer, it disappeared. So I'm going to have to work with this some more. Well, I hope other people got out flying.